I'd like to welcome you all to our expert session, and today we are going to be tackling on one of the most pressing issues, which is content creating content that sells. So my name is Tofara Chokera. Apologies for my bad lighting. I'm the community manager for Ecom Connect, and tonight with me is Loveness in there. She's also a digital strategist, and she'll introduce herself more. We are going to be taking you through content creation, and I'll hand over this time to Loveness. So if you have any questions, please do type in the chat box so that as we present, you can also have your answers or your question being answered by the presenters. Over to you, Loveness.
Thank you so much, Tofara. I'm really excited to be here and to be talking about content. So today we're going to be talking about content that sells. So what is important to note most of the time is it's not enough for you to just post. There's a process that you need to go through for you to actually get the results or any type of results for the content that you're posting on social media, on your website, or whichever digital platform that you're using. So we want to share on that process. We want to share on some of the basic things that you can start looking at, or that you should start considering, or the processes that are ideal so that you can get results. I don't know how many of you can indicate in the chat box how many times you've gone online, whether you've posted something on social media or on your website, and you felt like, look, this is not what I expected. This is definitely not what I wanted. I wanted more. So you can just indicate in the chat box. And before we get into the actual presentation, I'll take some time to introduce myself. My name is Loveness, and as Tofara has said, I am a digital strategist. I focus mainly on digital marketing, where I do training, consultancy, coaching, and things like that. Thank you, Netsai. Netsai is saying plenty of times. So we just want to then demystify and actually give you some amazing tips that have worked continuously for us, Tofara and I, as we create content. So I'm just going to share my screen and present. All right, just one moment. Okay, I'm going to start the process again. It's not responding the way I want it to. Okay. Right. Okay, Tofara, can you confirm what? Okay, great. I think it's now responding. Just one moment. Can you confirm whether you can see my screen clearly?
Yes, I can see your screen. Maybe you can zoom it.
It's just not responding the way I wanted to. Just one moment. I'm going to stop the share. I want to start again.
Okay, allow me to share from this side.
Yes, please share from that side. It could be my network.
Okay. Confirm you can see the shared screen.
I can see the shared screen. Okay. Awesome. It's brilliant. This is brilliant. So we want to talk about content that sells, content that will get you the results that you're looking for. I don't know how many of you have heard the phrase that content is king. And, you know, this was made famous by Bill Gates. That's when he was saying, look, if without the content, we can't even talk about the internet. We can't even talk about your presence online. All of it boils down to creating the content, right? So can you move on to the next one? Right. So without content, you can't connect with your customers. Can you imagine trying to connect with your customers online without creating the content? I know it's something that might seem like it's light, or that, look, you know what, it's obvious. But if you don't internalize that, you will then realize that content is critical for you to make progress. Content is critical for you to actually see results and achieve certain things for your business, for your brand, for your career, whatever goal you have, whatever it is that you want to achieve. When you are going online to create content, to share something, to connect with someone, to network with something, content is key. So it's not just, when we talk about content, it's not really focusing and drilling down on just posting, right? So when we talk to bring it into context, when we're talking about content that sells, we're talking about content marketing. So content marketing is a strategic marketing approach which focuses on creating, distributing valuable, relevant, and consistent content to attract and retain clearly defined audience, retain a clearly defined audience, and ultimately to drive profitable customer action. So the critical things is you're creating and distributing valuable, relevant, and consistent content because you want to attract, and you don't end at just attracting people, but you also want to retain a clearly defined audience. So when we talk about attracting people, I think that's where most people focus on. They want to attract new clients. I want to get new people. I want this type of person to get involved or to request for my services or products. And then, but the question is, what are you doing to retain them after they're now within your buying circle, after they've become your client? What other strategies are you also putting in place? And, you know, it's very, very important to focus on that. And then the ultimate goal at the end of it all is to drive profit. We're there to make profit. We're there to get the right person seeing our career, or, you know, seeing our profiles, seeing our brands, so that they can either partner with us, employ us, or, you know, engage us for our services. So when we talk about this content, we're talking about blog posts, we're talking about pages, we're talking about ebooks, infographics, videos, and we're going to cover the extra ones that we also want to talk about. And don't forget, for those who are coming in, please don't hesitate to put your questions in the chat box and interact with us. So the bottom line is you are purposefully creating content so that your ideal client or customer finds you through the inbound way instead of outbound. So when we talk about outbound, most of us are very familiar with outbound marketing, is when we interrupt your audience. Like you're scrolling through something, you're on social media, and as you're on social media, you then get an interruption, an advert comes out to you, and that's outbound, and that's a traditional way of marketing. So when we're talking about content marketing, we're now focusing on inbound. So inbound is not interruptive. It is very authentic. It is very natural, in the sense that you're creating content that people want to read. You're creating content that will pique the interest of your ideal client. You're not just going to put an advert there that where you want to position it when someone is watching something and they have 10 seconds of mandatory watching of your advert, and in the meantime your client is boiling because you've interrupted them. I don't know if someone has ever experienced that frustration. You're watching something, you like something, or you're getting engaged, then all of a sudden up comes the advert, and you have to watch it for 5 seconds. You have to watch it for 10 seconds. What has been your feeling about that? Has anyone ever bought after that? What was your experience with that? I used to feel like, look, it has interrupted my flow. I don't like this feeling. And most of the time I wait for the mandatory minutes to finish, and once they are done, I go back to doing what I was doing. So that's outbound outbound marketing. Inbound, we talk about like what we did, let's talk about creating content that sells. And people that were interested then came on board. Very natural, very authentic. We did not disrupt anything. It was optional to everybody who's participating in this webinar. So one thing that, one way of doing that is to create a narrative around your content. That is storytelling. You're telling a story around your content, and your content could be focused on a product, could be focused on a service. It can even be focused on your career, your skill set, what you want people to know about you, right? And so you've got, I can give you multiple examples of people who've then created narratives around and stories around their content. I'll give you an example. Some people that know Denzel Washington, he's a global actor, and what he's now doing because of this long form and short form opportunities of creating content, he then shares with us the background behind who he is. He says he failed in school, he didn't do well, and at some point, he had been told to do something else. And one day he was in a salon, and as he was in that salon, an elderly woman of the community, very respected, bluntly told him that you're gonna speak to many people. People are going to know about you. And he was at a very low point in his life. So then he says, but that's his story now. So before, content creation was optional and tech evolved, and we could now interact with people that we only see on TV from one side. You'd only see them but would never interact with them. They are now creating the content. They're telling stories around their profession. We now know more about them. So that's the same thing. So the first thing is to create a content strategy. Number one, you define your goal. We're going to break this down. Whilst I'm giving you this list, we are going to just then really get down into what we're talking about. So number one, define your goal. Number two, conduct a buyer persona research. I'm going to explain a little bit more about that as well. And then run a content audit. So you need to assess your current content, right? Where are we? Where do you want to go? Number four, choose a content management system. These are systems that we can use without having the tech knowledge of coding, HTML, JavaScript, all these programming languages and coding, but it's more friendlier. A person with no tech experience can actually then choose to actually manage their content in a certain way. Number five, determine which type of content you want to create. It's important to be intentional. Like if some of you read my post when we're talking about this, we're saying don't just post. So we're going to talk about that. You need to be intentional, and then you need to brainstorm content ideas. And when we talk about brainstorming, it's not like a thumb-sucking experience where you're like, let me see what I want to do. What do I feel like? No, there's actually a process we're going to show you on how you then do the research, what options are there, and then you start then brainstorming around that. And then the final thing is to publish and manage your content on a consistent basis. Right. So moving on to the next one. So we're talking about having a goal. We're saying have a goal. Sandra is saying that she doesn't have any volume, but can everybody else hear me?
I can hear you, Loveness. I think.
Awesome. I think there's something technical you need to address there. Right. So the most important thing is that, thank you, Desperia. Thank you, Mrs. B. Thank you, Nosbelo. Awesome. So we're going to go on, and hopefully someone will help you in the inbox for you to get that volume, because I believe it's something technical. So the first things first, you need to have a goal. Create content with an intention. Create content saying, look, I want to achieve certain things. What is it that you want to achieve? Do you want to increase brand awareness? for people to just get to know that you exist? Do you want to increase your sales, which is the most common thing? You want your bottom line, your profit to go up. Thanks to Nashe saying that we can hear you loud and clear. And then number 3, do you want to reach your ideal audience? You know what? You can't market to everyone. And we're going to talk a little bit more on that point. Number 4, you want to engage with your audience. You want people to respond back to you. That's the joy of technology. It's no longer one-way communication, but you can interact with the people that you want to serve and the people that are your target audience. Number 5, you want to increase loyalty. You don't want the type of business that is transactional. So transactional businesses is more like, okay, fine, I want to compete based on price as opposed of value. So when you have people that come to you based on transaction, based on price, or something that there's no emotional attachment, the moment they seem to get a better offer in terms of price, there goes the loyalty flying out through the window, no looking back. But if you improve your loyalty, people will then have a relational business with you, a relational business with you, where it's focused on value. They appreciate what you're putting on the table. They appreciate what you're adding to their lives. Number 6, you inform or onboard your audience. Sometimes you just share information so that they can have a better experience of your services or better experience of your product. Some of you have seen this, where communities are created around a product that is being served, and as clients or people or customers, we then are part of those communities where there's a new version or a beta version or a new feature that is added on. They help us to understand, okay, fine, what does this feature do? And sometimes also then helping us then resolve any queries or any areas of frustration that we may have. So it's important to always have a goal. So moving on to the next one. You need to have buyer persona research. So when we talk about buyer persona, it's a fictitious person or an avatar of the ideal client. It is fictional, but it's not just something that you then come up from the top of your head. This person or fictional person is a person that represents the person that you want to buy from you, the person who is most likely to buy from you. And you are actually laying down and itemizing, okay, fine, this is the person, this is what they're interested in, this is where they're located, which problems are they facing, what is their income, what are their habits, what are their goals, and what are their needs. So you can actually split them into physiological profiling and also psychographic, which is more about interest, about drive, about hobbies, where you say, okay, fine, I've got this product. Maybe I'm into travel and I want to do ultra luxurious travel packages. The person doesn't like traveling to places where a whole load of people. So you then have to say, look, they have a problem. They do not like bulk or discounted places where there's a lot or high population. They want an exclusive place. So that's, you already know. And for you to get an exclusive place, you need to be in a certain income bracket. But because you've profiled this person, you can then speak their language. Like I said earlier on, you can't market to everyone. Another example is if I have a VW Golf 5-door and it's red and I want to sell it to 2 different types of people. My first client can be a 21-year-old young man, just finished school, but can afford. He has the buying power to actually purchase that vehicle, or someone else is going to purchase it for him. When I market to him, I will look at his interest. Maybe his interest is in speed, and also affordability. And also we can then also add on extras to this car, pimp it up, add on, bucket seats, customized interiors, so that it appeals to him. And then if we're talking to a mom with 2 children under 10 and we want to sell the same vehicle, we are going to change our messaging. We will talk about reliability. I got tongue twisted for a moment there. Reliability. We will talk about the safety features. We will talk about stability on the road. We will talk about longevity. You know, why? Because we understand our persona. We understand the person that we're speaking to. So I'm hoping that it's clear in terms of the buyer persona, where you need to profile this. And this is very basic, sharing foundational stuff. You can always go and research on it. So you need to speak their language so that they can self-identify instead of you doing the heavy work. If you do your content right, the person will feel like you're speaking directly to them. The person will feel like, I need to get this. This is speaking to me. It solves all the problems that I have. Instead of you saying, look, I can solve your problems, and you're pushing your product with content marketing, it happens the other way, right? I hope this makes sense. Let's talk about a content audit. A content audit is when you assess your content, the top performing and the low performing content. You check your content on all your digital assets, your websites, any landing pages that you may have, social media platforms, ebooks. You're checking your content and actually assessing the analytics. What is it performing well? Is it not performing well? What is working versus what is not working? You know, what is working, what you can do is to then rewrite or repurpose the content. If it was text initially and it was performing well as text, I would turn that into a video. I could turn that into an infographic. I could turn that into an ebook. I could extract information and then come up with a short clip, a short video that then highlights that well-performing or top-performing content. So the audit is mainly to see what is working, what has worked for you before. Are you aware of the content that is working for you? Are you aware of the content that's not working for you? Or maybe you've not noticed, you posted and left it at that. And so I'm going to ask everybody to mute their mics so that there's no disturbance in terms of the flow as well. So I'm just going to ask everybody to mute your mic. Please mute your mic. Okay, so let's move on to the next thing. I just want to give time, ample time to Tofara to actually then take us into the practical. So the next part is the content management system. So this is a web application or software that helps users to create, manage, and modify content on a website without the need for specialized technical knowledge. You need to be able or to have a system that will allow you to actually clamp the content together, put the content together, and then be able to manage it. And a website is the best example, where you've got all the content there. You can create blogs and you can then cluster your content into different topics. Maybe if I'm into, I'll give an example of digital marketing. There's so many content clusters that I can put there. I can put social media. I can then talk about search engine optimization. I can talk about WhatsApp marketing. I can talk about email marketing. I can talk about branding, personal branding. I can talk about personal branding as a business, or I can talk about branding as a business, or personal branding for career growth, or personal branding just for you to be known for whatever reason you have there. Right. Just one moment. I just want to fix so that I can mute. I'm getting someone's or can you assist me, Tov, and mute the person who is unmuted? So you need to be aware of that. So then the next part, so there, sorry, can you go back? Because I had given examples of content management systems. So besides just the creation of the content, you also have to do the publication, and you then have to do your analytics. Your analytics are statistics on how your content is performing, how many people are watching, how many people are engaging, and we're going to see examples of this in Tofara session later on. So examples of content management systems, you've got your WordPress, the common ones, WordPress, HubSpot, Joomla, WooCommerce, which is great for any website that wants to then do an online shop. Drupal, Shopify, another CMS that is brilliant if you want to have your shop online. That Wix is supposed to be Wix. My apologies for the spelling error. And there's BigCommerce. So you can actually go out there and check, okay, fine, what CMS options are there? When you talk about Wix, it's not even complicated. It's just what we call a drag and drop. Literally, what you see is what you get, a WYSIWYG site builder, where you literally no technical knowledge whatsoever. You take one block and you put it there, and that's how your content management system is going to appear, which is really awesome. Then can we move on to the next one? When we talk about determining the type of content that you want to create. So you can create different types of content. The blogs, podcasts, videos, webinars, ebooks, newsletters, images, memes, and GIFs. These are just examples of what content you can create. And this is determined by your ideal client or your ideal audience. If I want to speak to people, or if I want to speak to students, I probably wouldn't pick Zoom if I want to get more people on my program. I would consider having a Facebook Live, especially for Zimbabwe. Why? Because our telecom service providers have what we call bundles, and these bundles are costs less. What can I say? Less like affordable costs of data for them to go on Facebook, for them to go on social media, which are kind of like discounted. So if I want to get more students, I would probably most likely create a Facebook Live, or I get a community, and within that community, for privacy, if it's needed, I then host the event or the webinar in there. Another option would be for me to just then create a pre-recorded something or clip or video or webinar, and then I share it as a link as an option. So you've got to pick them. If you say, okay, fine, my clientele is busy, I'm targeting moms, and I want them to be able to listen and fully get what the content that I'm creating, I would then consider a podcast. Why? Because they can listen to the podcast whilst they're driving. They can listen to the podcast whilst they're cooking or doing something else. All right. So I'm hoping this makes it clear. That's the content that you're creating. You should consider other things: affordability, the resources, the type of person that you want to reach out. Are they busy executives? What's the best way to share information with them? What's the best way for you to get maximum value from the audience and to give them the maximum value that you can? Because we want you to be also customer centered and give them the value that you can maximally give them. Right. And then moving on. Then the other thing is to brainstorm content ideas. So when you're brainstorming content ideas, here I'm going to ask Tofara if you're able to also do the SEM rush as part of the practical. If you can just show us the SEM rush and walk us through how we can actually get the content that we're looking for and things like that. I'll leave it over to you. Tof, we can see your screen, but we can't hear you. Have you started speaking?
Apologies, I had not realized that I'm on mute, but okay, so thank you so much once again, Loveness, for the wonderful presentation. And definitely, I'm sure the practical will seal up everything that we would want to know practically. So before we even jump onto SEM Rush, it is very important that you also note that even our own search engines can help us come up with ideas on what to create in terms of content. So let me just go on Google for a start before I go on SEMrush. So what you will realize with all the search engines is that people or the algorithms on Google, they actually give you ideas on what people are searching for, which is in your line of business. And in this case, I'm going to be giving you examples of digital marketing and innovation, because this is my area, and also this is Loveness area. But as I'm also giving you examples, I would then want you to also look at your line of business and also do the same searches, okay? So Loveness was speaking about buyer personas. You also then realize that buyer personas come in different buyer journeys. There are some people that don't know you, they are on the awareness stage. There are some people that are on the consideration stage. There are some people who are on the decision stage of buying your products and leaving whoever they were buying from. And you'll find that at some stage they can become advocates for your brand. And when you have advocates for your brand, definitely you can retain them. But all these stages should be fed by content which is relevant and good enough for people to stay around your brand. Okay, so for example, on Google, Loveness, can you also admit the people that are coming in? So on Google, for example, if you want to understand what people are looking for when it comes to digital marketing, you'll find that Google will actually put you or suggest a list of things that people are looking for when it comes to digital. So as you can see, Google has suggested that most people who are coming on Google, they're looking for digital skills for Africa, digital marketing games for students, digital marketing courses, digital signature, etc. So as someone who is into digital marketing, definitely if I see the keywords digital marketing course, which means that when I'm to create my content as Tofara and I want to push my training on digital marketing, I should use the keywords digital marketing course. So that is the idea that I've got from Google and what people are even looking for. But unfortunately, Google does not give us the detailed analysis. That is when we then suggest you to go and use the semrush.com website. So you'll find that on SEMrush, this will give you, even if you are to use the free version, this is what we usually use, because the top results that you're going to get are good enough for you to get ideas on what to create. So for example, I've actually typed in digital marketing as keywords, because I want to understand what people are looking for globally, right? And the good part about SEMrush, you can actually then also customize it to your local country. So as you can see, I typed in digital marketing and I clicked search, right? And down here, it will show you the keyword variations. And as you can see, there are about more than 160,000 keyword variations on digital marketing, right? And when it comes to questions, there are more than 8,000 questions on digital marketing. Related keywords, there are more than 3,000. So what do you do with all these analytics? This is just a high-level, simple step that you can take. So from these results, the 5 results that I have here, people are looking for digital marketing agency, companies, services, marketing digital. And when it comes to questions, they are looking for what is digital marketing, what is a digital marketer, how to become a digital marketer, and how to do digital marketers, how much do digital marketers make, etc. So when I am to analyze all these keywords, I will then understand that people are looking for definitions of what digital marketing is all about. Then my mandate is to then go and create content to educate people on what digital marketing is all about. So here in Africa, we are also looking at creating employment through having skills, digital marketing skills. So definitely a lot of people would want to know how much digital marketers are making. Okay, Tofara, you're a digital marketer, how much are you making? And on average, how much would you say per month you get, right? So which means I can go and create a piece of content, whether it's a video or a voiceover, just to explain how digital marketers can earn online, how the incomes vary depending on country, depending on also the effort. So as you can see, I now have a number of ideas of what to speak about, right? So I'll give you another example. Let's say you're in the fashion industry, right? You can also go and type the keyword fashion and click search. So it will also then give you some variations. What are people asking when it comes to fashion? How to make old-fashioned, maybe it's about clothes. What is fast fashion? What is an old-fashioned? How to make an old-fashioned, etc. So if you can also go and click all this, view all, you're going to get also a list of other keywords that people are looking for, right? I think you can actually see here that we have got also restricted numbers of keywords because we are using the free version, but these are good enough for you to know exactly what people are typing when they're looking for fashion. So for example, you're in the fashion industry, people are typing old-fashioned, 80s fashion, 90s fashion. So which means that you now have an idea to say, okay, if 75% of people are typing 80s fashion, which means they need information on this, that is what you go and create. Because when you are now online, it's not all about you and the products that you are selling, but it's about you giving people value and showing them that you are there to satisfy their need. Remember, those buyer personas that you're going to meet online, they've got different pain points. They've got different needs. They come in different formats, different mindsets. But all you need to understand is using these tools, SEMrush, which is the best for me. You can understand what people are looking for and give them that information. And sometimes it's not necessarily that you are selling the 80s fashion, but you're just creating content, and that content will help you engage with people, because these days people buy brands before they even convert to become paying customers. So you need to understand how you can engage with them, and also how you can give them content that is valuable for them to stay over and over with your brand. Okay, so you can type anything. Let's go to food. What are people looking for when it comes to food? You can then go and, okay, you are in the food industry. What are people typing? This is the tool in United States, right? You can actually select a country here, which is different, and see the results for your specific country to say, okay, in Zimbabwe, if I'm in the food industry, what sort of things are people looking for? They're looking for food lovers market, food chain, food web, Zimbabwe traditional food, carbohydrates food, national foods, protein foods, food preservation. As you can see, I now have those keywords that people are looking for. So when I want to attract them, or when I want to just optimize my websites for search engines, I make sure that I talk about the national foods, the protein foods. I put those keywords and make sure that at least I'm found on the top pages of the search engines, right? Then let me just check, how do we use the information from SEMrush to help with our marketing? So this is what I'm explaining to say, this is more of what we call a keyword research. So when you are researching for keywords, you're actually getting to know what people are looking for. Because these days, like I said, when people need information, it's not like you have to provide them what you know, but you have to provide them with what they want to hear. So it is very important that you go and research what people are looking for online, and then give them that information. I'm going to share with you my LinkedIn account so that it also becomes clearer to say, okay, I've understood that people are looking for digital marketing courses. Then what am I going to give them as content so that they understand that my organization is offering digital marketing courses, right? So this is more like a keyword research, understanding what people are looking for and then giving them that exact information, right? So just allow me to go to my LinkedIn so that I show you how then I use this platform. So, with the digital platform, some might say I want to concentrate on social media, Facebook, Instagram. The concept is the same on how you put out your content, whether you're going to put it on LinkedIn, on Facebook, or any other social media platform. And if you have a website, definitely content remains the same, right? So this is my LinkedIn account, and I love promoting my personal brand through content and also promoting my business brand through LinkedIn. So what you need to realize is, even if you create a banner, this is a form of content which is actually helping people to understand what I do. This is just a banner. It's a form of content. I am bridging the current skills gap by equipping women, youth in Africa with digital skills for career development, business development, building resilience, and employment creation. So this on its own, the banner has communicated to someone who is interested in digital marketing, in career development, in building businesses, in building resilience. Already I've communicated a message. If someone wants to then know more about me, they know exactly that this person is going to help me maybe to bridge the current skills gap that they have, right? So when you have any platform, you go on your website, there should be a banner or a picture which communicates with people in 2 seconds so that they understand whether they are in the right place or they are not in the right place, right? So remember, people buy brands first, right? They buy brands first before they buy your products and services. And you need to have also a lovely profile picture, which is there. Make sure that you have summarized all your services. This is to me, it's content because I'm telling people information of what I do, right? So I'm just gonna scroll down to also then saying, in as much as you're going to be creating content, remember to create content that attracts people, and always remember to do some analysis of the content that you create. So I'm one person who loves seeing people viewing my profile. I love seeing post impressions. This can be cumulative for the week, or I can actually go on each and every post that I've done to just make sure that I'm getting the most out of the impressions. This is when we're talking about impressions, these are the number of people that have actually scrolled by my content. So if 1.2 people view my profile per week, at least I'm supposed to attract maybe 50 or so people to give me business, right? So what I then do on LinkedIn, there is this feature which I'm going to just show you on how then I create my content strategically for my buyer personas, right? So I've pinned most of my posts that have got a number of interactions or engagements. The reason is if 40 people and more than 100 people engage with my post, then definitely this is something that should attract any other person who comes to my profile. So I'm just going to open most of these. I'm just going to open most of these pinned posts. They are so different in a way, and I'll show you how I then utilize these to capture the right audience. So if I click more, you'll also see that there are so many other posts that I've pinned, right? Let me just open so that when I walk through them one by one, you will see the differences in the content, and also how I just make sure that I am attracting the right customer, right? I'm just going to pass through some of these so that we are right on time. I'm sure no one is rushing anyway. Don't miss this session, because this is what has made us to be where we are, because of the content, right? Just opening, so that when I start scrolling down, you'll see. Thank you, Mimi. I'll read your comments later on. Okay, so this is a post that I pinned, as you can see. Tofara, I participated in the United Nations High-Level Political Forum on SDGs, right? And this was one of my biggest gig. It was a 3-minute talk at one of the biggest international conferences, right? So I've pinned it and I've put a short clip on what I spoke about, right? And I got engagement. Why do I post about the things that I've done? Because if you look at this post on its own, I'm talking about sustainable development goals. We are an organization that is looking at social impact, and we are contributing to solving sustainable development goals. And as you can see, this is one of the things that the United Nations is driving, especially towards the Agenda 2030. So which means anyone who is interested in sustainable development goals and knowing how our organization is contributing to that is already attracted, right? And as you can see, I also put these keywords, the digital gender gap. You know, in Africa, you'll notice that there are less women in the tech fields, in the digital space, and our organization is also helping to reduce that digital gender gap. So these are the keywords that I've actually researched. And when I'm now creating content, I write that there is a digital gender gap, which is preventing women from playing their full role in shaping the future of our society. Already, I've attracted an organization that can partner with us to make sure that we reduce the digital gender gap. Right. So I then tag the international organizations and the people that are relevant for that. So to me, these participations of events, I post them so that people trust my brand. If I'm to be trusted by United Nations, it's easier to be trusted by many other countries or companies. Okay. So this was my appointment to be a community manager. I posted it, got so many, this is part of content. I got so many engagements, people congratulating me. But why am I doing it? I am doing it for people to see that my profile is increasing. And why do I have to write a paragraph? Because I'm now a community manager. If you read through this paragraph, it is talking about the mission of Ecom Connect. You know, it is talking about how the Ecom Connect program actively supports SMEs on their digital journey through capacity building, research, facilitation of innovative solutions. All these are keywords. Capacity building, if you go and on SEM Rush, if you are into training, capacity building is one of the keywords that people are looking for. Innovative solutions, these are keywords. Partnerships, digital tools, all these are keywords, so that at least if someone is to search on LinkedIn, that is why you'll find that I appear maybe on 1.2 searches every week, because I am utilizing what? The keywords, right? This is a program that we launched in partnership with Loveness. It's called the Digital Skills Incubation Program. And this is a program that is helping people build a culture of entrepreneurship and innovation. So you'll find that these are keywords that I've actually put, and Loveness was actually introducing this program in video. Why? Because we have realized that people are attracted more by video and voiceovers. I think Loveness spoke about podcasts and so on. So you'll find that video captures people's attention. We do our hashtags according to what we are trying to push. So for example, we've got the innovation, leadership, digital branding, critical thinking, communication, teamwork, collaboration, digital growth. All these are keywords that we realize that our incubation program is touching on, and we have to also put them here so that when people are looking for digital skills programs, ours is also found at the top. Okay. The next example, this is an award that we got. So these are more of testimonial awards. Okay, so Tofara Online was selected to be a finalist at the Equals in Tech Awards, and we are top in the leadership in SME. You know, so we then say, okay, this is a testimony. We are providing training to women, SMEs on digital skills. We are also focusing on unemployment and creating opportunities for people to work online, right? So as you can see, I also do a paragraph which talks about the award and why we got the award, right? And definitely, I'll be quoting also the keywords. So testimonials are also part of content that attract people. If an organization or a project is given an award, which means there's something good that people are doing. So I create content to attract new clients who are still doubting. Most probably these buyer personas are on the decision phase. They are trying to ask themselves, why should we trust the Tofara Online brand or the Digital Skills Hub brand? And when they see an award, definitely this will be something that will make them make a decision to say, we are going to give them business, or we are going to work with them. Okay. And also these are some of the projects that we run, and we tell a story. We take pictures, we put them in collage if there are too many. And here we had finished training 121 students under the World Hunger Life Zimbabwe Digital Skills Training Program. And what was it all about? It was lifelong skills training. If you go and Google on the digital skills, lifelong skills are one of the things that people are looking for, and especially with the adoption of tech. And we then also speak about who sponsored our programs, so that at least if someone comes and wants to doubt our ability to implement a project, they will see that, okay, these guys were once trusted by these 3 big organizations: World Food Program, USAID, World Hunger. We were implementers via World Hunger Life, but we did the project. It was successful. We have captured the people that need to make a decision to work with us, right? Then I also talk about anything and anything. Why? Because when we are talking about our services as digital marketers, it's not all about selling and selling all the time, but it's also about talking about issues that are affecting a lot of people. So this was one of my longest posts, which actually went viral. And I had so many reposts on LinkedIn, on Facebook. And this is when I spoke about how I removed my children from technology during the week, right? And it attracted different views. Some people were saying, no, you should not remove children from tech. Some people were saying, it's good, children are becoming more addicted to tech. Why do I put such posts? Because I want to engage with people. I want to know what they think on certain topics. And if you look at my profile, you see posts to do with mental health. I'm not a mental health advocate, but I know the issues that people are suffering from. So as long as I create something that resonates with someone, we can link on this technology post, but later on we can link for business purposes. That is why I post content on anything and everything sometimes. Okay. Then I speak about my story, how I work full-time from home. I do so many little tiny stories, right? My speaking gigs, I speak about them. This is part of content, right? I also spoke about when the incubation program for World Hunger, when we started, this also had so much engagements and people loving the project. And I think, as you can see, we really work on graphics, and we use a simple platform called Canva. So every post that we post out there, And I'm sure you saw that even the presentation that Loveness was presenting, we created it using Canva. So you'll find that we have our graphics, which shows that each and every module comes with a workbook. And in this workbook, we have so many content articles that we have written, myself and Loveness. And after that, people can have space to write, their objectives, their goals. They get time to introspect. This is what we are trying to put out, right? All the sponsors of the program, we put them there. We post this content. Most probably, if someone is not eager to read what is here, but they can be attracted by this graphic and say, okay, I want to know more about what these people are doing. So you'll find that this is also what we then focus on as well, right? This one was the high-level political forum. I spoke about it. So I also do some trainings at other organizations. So where possible, I record snippets of videos. As you can see, our organization, Tofara Online, etc. And here I actually hammered on these keywords. Our desire is to solve problems in Africa, the top being unemployment, gender inequality, low international trade, and inclusiveness of the hearing, speech, and speech-impaired communities. In this sentence alone, I have captured so many keywords. Unemployment is one of the most pressing issues, gender inequality, low international trade. So why am I doing it? I am making sure that the world sees what I am passionate about, and I am dishing it out to many people, to organizations, and this one was World Vision. So it is deliberate to then post. If World Vision had to trust this brand, I can even be trusted by many other organizations, right? I hope you are seeing the value of creating more content and also making sure that you put your text in, which is covering also some keywords, right? I participated in the Accelerate 2030 program. This was a program launched by Impact Hub, and it was run in partnership with UNDP. I make it very, very deliberate to mention all these organizations, right? So in there, I've got a video that they shot. We were speaking about our story, and when people see this, okay, I've got, I'm selected for this high-level program. I've learned what I've learned, and I've shared my story and my desire to provide quality education to people. Unfortunately, on these ones, I'm not putting on video because we might take a lot of time. But I'll share with you some of the testimonials that we have actually shared, which made us also get a lot of traction online, right? Then the next one. So last year we won an award called, we were officially, what can I say? We were given an award as digital champions for small businesses. And this was an initiative by the International Chamber of Commerce, the World Trade Organization, ITC, and we actually requested Ambassador Kansela, when we launched the Tech-Driven Entrepreneur Program, we actually requested that we have a video where the ambassador endorses our program. So we then got the video, which we usually play before every workshop of ours. But Ambassador was actually saying that we participated in this initiative and we launched a project called the Tech-Driven Entrepreneur Program, which is a full digital marketing course covering 8 topics. And when we are now live, we actually talk about all the 8 topics that we cover. But what is important is the endorsement. This is a type of content. So if you have people that you have worked with that have been happy because of what we have provided them them with. Seek endorsements. It is very important because it gives you weight when it comes to marketing your brand. So we are so excited about this video because if World Trade Organization endorses our program and sees it fit for us to put it out there and solve unemployment issues and gender inequality issues when it comes to the adoption of tech by women, then we are in a better position to get bigger contracts. So this is how we use endorsements as well, right? So this is my story. I've put in a 1-minute story. Let me just stop it. Most probably I will play it. So this is a story that I put in this year towards the Women in Tech when we're celebrating the Day of Women in Tech. So the theme was breaking the bias. And I also shared my story in 1 minute. So I'm a girl who grew up in a less privileged environment, a community where there was no access to tech, no access to career guidance, no access to information. I saw a computer and held a computer at 20, but now I'm advocating for similar communities to learn tech at a young age because I've seen the disadvantages of not having enough information as you grow up. And also I've seen the advantage of having tech, and using tech for career development. So this is the story that I was sharing here. And I usually ride on that story because if someone who had no enough resources is able to build something that people can say, okay, let's go and learn tech. And we are learning it from someone who did not have a tech background, then that is very, very something that sells online. Loveness usually talks about her. She was an accountant for 12 years, and then she later diverted to become a digital marketer full-time. How can an accountant move from accounting to digital marketing? Some people might say it doesn't work, but she's one of the experts recognized here in Zimbabwe and even across the world. So these are stories to capture the attention of people. It's a form of content just to tell our story so that people are moved. You move people's emotions and they fall in love with your brand. And after that, they give you business. So as I'm speaking, I want you to then say, okay, what can I do for my business? Because I wouldn't give examples of businesses that I'm not in, but I know that people are in varied businesses. Some are into clothing, some are into shoes, some are into hair care products, etc. There are so many businesses here, right? But what's important is then to look at your line of industry and just make sure that you give people the information that is unique, that will make them be moved and give you a business, right? So I'm just going to end with this one. These are testimonials now. Let me just stop this. I'm just going to give us about 2.5 minutes to listen to the video. These are testimonials that we usually seek and ask from our clients. And this is a form of content that sells like hotcakes. So when you satisfy a client, you can reach out to them and say, you know what, please, can I have a testimonial? I would want people to know how our trainings have impacted your businesses, how you have grown, etc. So in 2020, we were actually doing our trainings on WhatsApp because of accessibility. And after that, when things were starting to open up, we had to reach out then to our students on WhatsApp and say to those who were trained during the COVID lockdowns, and they found value in our trainings. Please, we want your stories. How have you been impacted? And we have so many of these, but I'm just going to play one so that you see how important it is for testimonials as well. Then after this, I think we're going to open the group for any questions. If you do have any questions as the video is playing, please also do type them in the chat box so that we also respond to them after. Thank you.
Director of Corn Valley Nature Reserve. My name is Hope Makwara. I'm the Managing Director of Corn Valley Nature Reserve Park. When I enrolled for the online digital marketing masterclass, it brought instant transformation to my business. I had to restart, readjust, reset, realign everything the way I operated. It was during the first lockdown when everything was gloomy. There was darkness all over, and we didn't even have hope. That's the time when Tofara came on board, and we had to recruit for the online masterclass. It brought total transformation, I tell you. And it was like light at the end of the tunnel. We had lost hope, but when he trained us, he told us that you can still advertise your businesses, you can still make money in the comfort of your homes and engage the digital network platform. So we started advertising, and I tell you, it brought a real change in the way we even thought, even in the mindset. She taught us how to make our own website, how to make our brochures. I can now do the FilmiGo, I can do the render forest, I can do plethora softwares through this initiative. It was a real eye-opener. And she taught us about the community developmental goals, which I took personal. And now I'm training the people in my community. I'm training women, youths, on even how to advertise their products and even how to operate their businesses. They're coming here in this conference center that I've just built to do various trainings. And she also taught us to teach everyone. So I'm training from grassroots level to executive levels. And it's really copacetic. I'm enjoying it. Thank you so much, Tofara, for the initiative. She also taught us about the affiliate marketing, where she would encourage us to recruit other members and our friends to come on board. And believe you me, she would even pay us commission, more than 30% for recruiting other people. And she told us that it's called affiliate marketing. And it was really satisfying and copacetic. And Tofara, even the price we paid for the course was just next to none. And all I can say, Tofara, my dear, you rock. Thank you so much. I hope one day we'll meet. And as for me, watch the space. Thank you.
Wow, so this is the end, okay? So this is how we utilize our digital platforms with content. And I'm seeing B has actually asked me how I optimize LinkedIn so that it can be visible to your target market. So what you really need to understand about LinkedIn, you need to connect to people with similar interests. You can connect, for example, I connect to people who are interested in digital marketing. I connect to people whom I see as business owners, because definitely I would want to offer services from them. And this is more of a professional website as well, which is full of decision makers. So if I'm then to also target to train and consult for big organizations, I connect with people that I see have most probably need, or who I can just connect and share information. Or I've also then started creating content where people follow me. And today I was actually surprised. I'm now more than 6,000. I now have more than 6,000 followers. And these are all organic. I've never paid LinkedIn for my growth. It's growing at a pace that I want, which is a bit slower than just boosting or paying for an ad. But what I know is everyone who follows me has found value in what I do. So to me, it's more like an organic way of growing. Content creation is more like an organic way of growing my profile, right? I saw someone raising their hand. Who was it, by the way?
I am the one, Tofara.
Yes, you can go ahead and ask your question or comment.
And thank you very much. You people are presenting pretty well. We are liking this. Now, help me understand the other presenter. She did a version of the creation of a metaverse, and I was wondering, how can you guide me in making what we call the buyer persona in a B2B to cultures which are foreign from mine? How do I go about that? Thank you.
Sorry, Loveness, did you get that question? It was breaking. Maybe if you can also type in the chat box so that we answer you correctly, I think that will be much better.
Okay, it's about creation of a metaverse by a persona in a B2B,
yes,
in a foreign or land where cultures are different.
Where there are cultural differences.
Yes.
Okay, Loveness, maybe you can take that one. So he's asking that, let's say you want to create a buyer persona with that fictitious person, but you want to create that buyer persona in a what can I say, in a foreign land where cultures are differing, etc. How does he do that? I hope I captured your question well. This is for you, Loveness.
So I think what's important when you're creating the buyer persona is, remember, part of the creation process, you focus either on the physiological aspect and also the psychographic. So when we talk about the physiological, is location. We're talking about location, the demography in terms of age, your age brackets, where they are, psychographic, your cultural issues. So when you are now targeting people of a different cultural background or inclination, it's important to speak to them in that way. I'll give you another example. When you are packaging or creating products for export, and maybe you want to export to a country, you've got your peanut butter, and in your local area, maybe you have the black cat. This is just an example, guys. You've got your black cat there, and that is your picture that's on your labeling. But in other cultures, when they see the black cat, it's a superstitious animal. There's spirituality involved in it. So the encouragement is always do your groundwork. Do the groundwork, do the research. What does the culture believe in? And you can even do what we call, desktop market research, where you are actually from your desktop, you are doing the market research on the people that you want to actually target. So it's really important to do that. Sometimes what people have then done is to create separate brands from their main brand to if it's a viable market, they separate the brands and they actually target and create a very specific brand for that market, for that cultural segment of their ideal audience. So George, I don't know if I answered you well there, but I think you can accommodate people of a different cultural basis. You do need to do the research. Desktop, you go online and you check, and sometimes then just engaging people in that area to say, you know what, this is what I want to do. And sometimes it might mean you parting with money for you to get that type of information from a researcher within that vicinity, within that cultural place. So George, are you still there? Did I answer you well? George Mwangi?
Yes, I'm happy. Thank you for the answer.
Awesome.
Thank you, Loveness, for your response. So before I take questions from the people who are raising up their hands, so Rina has asked, how much does one spend for digital marketing in the initial stages after the website is ready for a fashion brand that is just starting? So if you are just starting, I would then recommend you to start on content creation and grow your business organically. Don't spend much don't spend on adverts when you are still starting. I usually give this example to say, if you are to invite, if you are to pay for an advert for a new business which does not have content, it's like you're inviting people to a wedding and saying, guys, please come and attend my wedding. And when they come to the wedding, there is no bride, there is no groom, there is no cake, there's no decor, there is nothing, and there's no food above all. So people will just come and look and say, no, there is no wedding here, so let's go back home. That is what happens when you are to set aside a budget and boost a newly formed business. You're like inviting people to a wedding, but they're not going to stay there because there is nothing for them, or you're not offering them. That is what happens when people see your advert for the first time. They see your advert, yes, they are going to come to your platform, but when they come, they're just going to see most probably that advert and nothing else, and they will go for good. So it is very important that when you are starting, start with the little friends that you have, with the connections that you have. With content, you can attract people maybe for the first 6 months or so, or even up to a year, without even boosting posts. Like I said, my LinkedIn, I've never boosted anything. I've never paid for any advertising on LinkedIn. So you'll find that it's all about content and attracting the right audience. Those stay around forever. They won't go anywhere, unless you then say, okay, maybe I want more likes. Some people might have an argument to say, I want maybe 1,000 likes in my first week. You can do it, but chances are very high that you won't be able to make any sale from that. So then when it comes to then investing in your digital marketing, remember, there are so many things to invest when it comes to digital marketing. Are you going to pay someone to do your content? It's something that should be in your budget. Are you going to boost adverts? It's something that you can cost, but I cannot give you a specific figure. All these will vary according to what you want to do or what you want to achieve. I hope I'm answered. You are answered. So please do let me know.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Rina. So I'm seeing the hands are now down. Mohammed, you can go ahead and ask.
Hi, thank you very much. I hope you can hear me. So
Yes.
I wanted to ask how you said like you manage, you provide an online training. So how do you develop the training, the online trainings, and how do you manage that? That's what I was curious about. Yeah, thank you.
Oh, okay. So I think I'll also combine this response with one of the people who was saying, what do you use for your videos? What do you use for your graphics? So I use Canva. I'm just gonna share with you what we do with Canva when it comes to creating courses. So as you can see, this is a platform where you can actually browse and see exactly what you can do with it, right? So with Canva, you can create content for your social media. You can create your websites. If you don't have a website, Canva now has templates for websites. You can do your brand management, your content management in there. I think Loveness also spoke about other content management tools, but Canva can actually give you a platform to manage your content as well and schedule it, right? So for the courses now, we do our presentations. Let me just look for some of the, okay. So this is our course line that we developed, right? And every other presentation that we then do for our trainings, we then create it using Canva as well. So this is the digital marketing training for women and youths. It's the course outline. As you can see, we designed it using Canva, and we outlined the topics that we having. Then we also then went on to talk about who needs to attend, the course goals, and also then write in detail the trainers and what each topic covers. So you'll find this is just a simple presentation on Canva. So if we are doing WhatsApp trainings, we just download this presentation and send it on our WhatsApp. But we have also created an e-learning platform called the E-Digital Skills Academy, where we are now just noticing it's down, but I'll check why it's down. But we are developing the E-Digital Skills Academy, where we are now then introducing what we call Learn on Demand. So Learn on Demand is where we have actually recorded videos. Let me go to my Canva as well, so that I show you. We have recorded videos for all the courses that we have, and we are editing them using Canva. And then we are going to be uploading them on the E-Digital Skills Academy. So far, that is what we do. We had to simplify things because of the issue of internet access. So you'll find that most people would request the trainings on WhatsApp or on Zoom. We then also do some live trainings on every topic, but we will be presenting from our Canva accounts, right? I hope you are answered on the, as you can see, this is the Tech-Driven Entrepreneur Program. All these are presentations, for example, WhatsApp marketing, social media marketing, digital marketing plans, and digital marketing plan and innovation, etc. So we have actually created presentations, videos, etc. for our Tech-Driven Entrepreneur Program. So as you can see also, this is a customized training for Zimtrade. This is a local company which grooms people for export. So we also train there. You'll find that we create also our trainings from there, and we deliver them from here. It can be online, it can be physical, depending on what we want. So as you can see, this is a video. I'm not sure if it will play because of my internet, but as you can see, we have also then recorded videos.
Greetings, everyone. I'm going to be taking you through the digital marketing strategy and innovation session. Okay. In this topic,
so you'll find that this can be downloaded and be shared to any platform. We record using phone, sometimes using the phone, or sometimes we just call in someone to just record us, and we split. We have actually recorded once, and some of the things that we post, the content, the course content, we do some voiceovers, because Canva also has a studio where you can do voiceovers on presentations. For example, this one, the Tech-Driven Entrepreneur Program. If I want to do a voiceover to explain this presentation, I can just go to present and record in Canva, and it will take me to the recording studio, which is very good because it actually filters, let me just switch off the camera. So it actually filters all the external sounds. You don't need to be in a formal recording studio. When it comes to Canva, it filters all the noises, and you can start recording your voiceover. So as you'll be speaking, this is digital marketing training. As you can see here, it's recording. So once you have finished, you can go to the second slide, etc., doing your voiceover. And once you are done, you just end recording. And once you end recording, you can download whatever voiceover you have made, you would have made. But the good part about, I'm not going to download, but I'm just going to save and exit. So the good part about Canva, it gives you like templates that you can use for different types of presentations. So that is what we have, how we have been doing it. And also just making sure that we don't become complicated for our clients, because remember, we are targeting small to medium enterprises and women, and also some people are coming from marginalized communities. So we need to just have something that is accessible to many. I hope you are answered. So does the free Canva do all the work? Website creation, recording videos? Yes, it does all the work. The difference between the paid version and the free version is you cannot create a brand kit. So a brand kit, this is where you define your brand colors and everything in Canva. I think I can show you the differences. And anything that comes with a crown, like this one, for example, the brand kit, the content planner, when this crown is has a color, which means it's a free version, so you cannot create brand kits. So brand kits, I've done brand kits for different organizations because sometimes we create content for other people. So you'll find that if you want consistency, you've got your organization, for example, this crummy peanut butter, right? You can see that their brand colors green, brown, etc. You can define your fonts so that when you start creating your content on Canva, everything will be coming with your logo and your brand colors, and will be having consistent fonts all together, right? I think I can show you, I can give you examples that are simple. So I did this pack for a grocery store. Let me look for the other one. While I'm looking for the other ones, you can, okay, so we have got this one also, they're into car hiring, right? You'll notice that they've got their logo, they've got their brand colors in place, and they've got the font in place, right? So as you can see, I can drill down and show you that there's consistency in the colors, the fonts and everything, and also consistency in the footer. So this is what you then need, especially when you're creating content with graphics. People should identify you with your consistency in graphics. So with the free version, all these color changes, you'll be doing them manually. You can't do them automatically, like going to styles and start changing colors here and there, but you'll be doing manually, just clicking on a text box and going and selecting your orange, etc. So that's the difference that is there. Then anything that you're going to see with a crown, it's on the paid version, but I'm sure you can research more on this. I had not seen that we are almost 1.5 hours into this presentation. Michelle, you can go ahead and answer your question. I think I will take that as the last one. So please do connect with us. We are ready to help you in this community. The Ecom Connect community has a digital marketing hub that is there. If you want to learn more about digital marketing, content creation, anything to do with, anything to do with digital marketing, just make sure you go on ecomconnect.org and subscribe to the digital marketing and Loveness will be there. So Michelle, you can go ahead.
Thank you so much, Tofara and Loveness, for such an insightful webinar. So just to add on to your last response to Mohammed, you indicated that he should research more on Canva. I would also advise that he takes up the tech-driven entrepreneurial course with you guys, because I can testify that that is one of the greatest courses that I've taken up on the digital space. So I highly encourage any of the entrepreneurs in the group to take it up as well, so that they familiarize themselves with Canva. And then my question is, I posted it in the chat box, with regards to personal branding and LinkedIn. I am fully employed by one organization, and I'm also running my own personal business that you know of, She Means Business. And I wanted to know how I can differentiate that the same way we do it on Facebook, that we have a Facebook page which is specifically for She Means Business, and I also have a personal page which is my own personal page. Is that possible through LinkedIn in terms of my own personal brand, that I can't mix the two? I can't mix my employer as well as my hustle. Is that possible on LinkedIn?
Okay, so with LinkedIn, the Loveness, I'm not sure if you want to tackle on this one before I
go for it. Okay, thank you so much for that question. So you can separate the two. You can separate your corporate branding and all that with your personal brand. Your personal brand that's your profile that you then use to create the corporate. And you'll notice now there are some features like the newsletter feature. When you're creating the newsletter, if you're in creator mode, you can actually specify which article you want to use, So you can say, I want to use my corporate profile. You want to use my corporate profile, I want to use my personal profile. I hope that makes sense. But in terms of separating the two, it's actually possible. I hope I've answered correctly. I had also seen the question, her question in the chat box.
Okay. Thank you so much. Most probably before we go, let me just stop this share. I'm so humbled for 35 people to stay up to this time. I think it's more than 1.5 hours. I did not see that we had really chewed in your time, but I just want to thank you all. Please leave a comment in the comment section on how you found the presentation. So I'm just gonna do a poll. I'm launching a poll. Please do answer the 5 questions that are on the screen. I'm sure by now you are seeing them. Before you leave the meeting, I'm just gonna give 2 minutes for people to just fill in the event poll, so that we just look at your screen. You are going to see an event poll that is there. At least if I can get 20 people to respond to the poll, so that we know that we were on point or not. Thank you so much. I'm seeing the responses, 21%, 25%, we're on 31%, 37%, 40%, 46%, 50%. Thank you, 53, 59. Okay, so we have got courses, the Tech-Driven Entrepreneur Program. You can go on the digitalskillshub.net. You can see every information about the courses that we offer, but also remember that we also have courses that are there on the Ecom Connect as well. I think we are going to request that also these courses can be on Ecom Connect, but you'll find also there are certain courses on digital marketing on Ecom, which are also equally good. Thank you, George. Thank you, Rev, Portia. Thank you, Mercy. Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much for even responding to the poll. May we have a great evening. Good night for now.